Hello, welcome to this space. Here we are talking about business, development, strategy, and technology. This is Yellow Business Podcast. If you are there, it means that you want to contribute to African development. And here we are pushing African success stories. And this is one of our heroes that is here with us, Dr. Nkwenti. Welcome, Dr. Nkwenti.
Hello, Estelle. Thank you for having me.
We are very, very happy to have you in this place because you are one of our heroes. You are young. You are so inspiring. Just tell us what is your background with your own work, because as I always said, all those people that are invited to here, I'm very fan of them. This is the basics. So I don't want to present them because I will be like fan. You see how those fans are. So I'll leave you the floor so that you will be able to present yourself.
So thank you once more, Estelle. Thank you for having me. I'm flattered that you consider me to be a hero. So my name is Nkwenti Azong-Wara. I'm the CEO of Maviance, a Fintech based in Cameroon. And a little bit about my background. So I have a software engineering background and also a mechanical engineering background from the University of Duisburg-Essen in Germany. So I went to Germany at a very young age in 1999 to start my university. And after completing my university, I went to a research institute when I did a PhD in mechanical engineering. And after that, I started working for one of the industry giants, Siemens in Germany. And I worked for about 6 or 7 years. And during my trips to Cameroon, it became clear to me that this is the country where I have to provide value, right? Because I was providing value for the European economy, and I think that Africa has a lot of problems that we have to solve. And this is what motivated me to come back to Cameroon to be part of the Maviance journey, to be able to bring value to this ecosystem.
And we can see the impact that you have with Maviance. So this allows me to introduce our theme, because today we will discuss about fintech revolution, because finally it is a real revolution. So we will discuss and see how this fintech is impacting financial landscape in Africa, because before the emergence of fintech, we can see that less and less people had access to finance, and today it is possible. So I will start by asking you, how do you define fintech? Because everybody is defining it. Some are saying that fintech is just technology applied to finance. That at your side, how do you define fintech, since you are the expert of the domain?
Well, generally, those who say technology applied to finance, at the basis, they are right. But then if you look at it beyond that, you have to think about it. There are financial problems, there are financial challenges that we have in this ecosystem. Access to finance is one of the things that you have talked about. And we have seen in other economies how technology can be able to help to leapfrog a lot of these challenges that have been faced by other economies that have taken maybe many years to be able to solve, which with the technology we have today, we can be able to leapfrog all those steps and be able to provide these solutions. So at the very basis, a fintech company leverages technology as its base to be able to address financial challenges that we have in the ecosystem. So at the very basis, that is what the fintech is. Of course, we can do this in several different ways, but on the high level, I think that is what.
And talking about those challenges, can you just mention some of those challenges that Africans are facing to access to finance, and how this fintech is coming, thank to God, to solve these issues?
Yes, so I mean, there's a good chance for maybe just to take a particular use case, right? The use case of Maviance. So the founder of Maviance is Jerry Chiambe. I joined Jerry about 1 year after he had founded Maviance already in Cameroon. And the story is really about Jerry coming to Cameroon and saying that I want to pay my electricity bill, right? A simple, very use case that a lot of us are very accustomed to. I go to pay we are talking about 2011, not 2024, when everybody can pay with other means. So this is 2011, this is 13 years ago.
Yeah.
And Jerry is lining up on a line to pay the bill at the electricity company, and he's staying there for 2 hours. And then somebody comes to him and say, will you be ready to pay 500 francs so that I can give you my spot on the line? And Jerry said, oh, of course. I mean, my time is more valuable than standing here for hours.
Yeah.
And it became clear that this is a problem, right? People are ready to pay additional money for value.
Yeah.
And how can we make this happen? And this is really how Maviance, the very first solution of Maviance was born.
Yeah.
To be able to decentralize the process of bill payments.
Yeah.
You know, people have trust with the people that are next to them. You have the boulangerie that is next door, you have the pharmacy, you have a small kiosk.
Yeah.
These are people you know in your neighborhood. Yeah. How can we ensure that people can pay their bills at that time in same way, can pay in cash, but then they can pay next door without having to go and line up at the level of the electricity company? And this is the very, very first problem that we solve. To be able to decentralize bill payments, ensure that customers can pay anywhere, anytime, and pay very fast, get a secure receipt, and the systems are connected with all the electricity company to enable that your bill is paid in real time. So fast forward 13 years later, we now have about 12,000 agents, active agents in Cameroon, who are not only doing bill payment today, but are doing other services like MTN, mobile money cash in, cash out, and multiple other services that have been integrated on the platform. So this just gives you a nutshell about how you can use technology to really address some of this. Yeah,
okay, thank you. So tell me, in 2021, Maviance was able to raise $3 million fund. I think that, let me just applaud first. I'm alone, but I need to applaud for this because it is something, I think that it is a great achievement. So, by your side, can you just share with all those enterprise, all those business that are struggling to access to finance, which process did you follow to get this fund, and how this fund impacted your business?
So, thank you. We did raise $3 million in 2021 with what I call a strategic partner, which is Afrique. And Afrique believed in our business model, but not only in our business model, Afrique believed that we had done a proof of concept, and we had a team in place that was strong enough to be able to drive the strategy and the business to the next level. So raising funds in this ecosystem is not very easy. There are not very many fintechs that have been able to raise funds. Access to funding is one of the challenges that is faced by a lot of fintechs that want to scale in this ecosystem. And we're able to do it in 2021 thanks to the amazing team we had at the time, but also thanks to the resilience, because you see, we were founded in 2012, but we only raised funds about 8 to 9 years later. So you can tell you that for over 8 years, 9 years, we were growing organically, being resilient, keeping our eyes on the ball, and not giving up when the times were hard. So this is something that a lot of startups have trouble doing, because people want to make money very fast and they want to go very fast. So this is what we were able to do at the time, and this has, the last 3 years have been amazing, and it has shown the value of having access to funding to be able to scale your business. I'll give you just a few numbers. 2024, we made a revenue which is 9 times the revenue we made in 2020. Wow. Right? This just shows the scale at which we have grown. In 2024, we ended the year with 85 permanent staff working for Maviance, whereas we ended 2020 with 17. So these are massive growths. We have office locations in 5 different locations in Cameroon, whereas in 2020 we had just 1. We have grown our agent network from 2,500 active agents to over 12,000 agents at the end of 2024. So this is the value of having access to funding, and with the right strategy, you can be able to scale your business.
Definitely. And I think that this is very, very inspiring. So, Dr. Nkwenti, just tell us, since you have the habit, Maviance is also working in the whole CIMAC region, not only in Cameroon, right? how do you compare the advancement that we have in fintech in CEMAC zone to other regions? I may say that in West Africa or in East Africa, and why not in Asia or Europe? I know that in those most developed countries, for some of them, it is not the same level. We are not really at the same level. Can you just do a comparison and share with us which strategies can we have in CEMAC zone to ensure that we are pushing more and more? Cameroon is doing some efforts, but what about other countries? How can we push to ensure that we reach, for example, East Africa level, to ensure that we take all the advantage of this fintech?
Yeah. So it's a very difficult question that you have asked, and it's a question that depends a lot on the ecosystem in which you are playing, right? I would just leave out Europe and Asia for now, because those are quite a very different ecosystems to us. In Africa, generally, we have a very, very cash-based economy. So we are very used to paying in cash. And this has been a challenge for the growth of a lot of fintechs, even in this ecosystem. I think that MTN or MMC would be able to attest to the fact that the growth of the mobile money within this space has been has stagnated much more than what you saw with M-Pesa, for example, in Kenya and so on. But of course, it has a lot to do with timing as well. So if you come into the country and you are trying to provide a solution, right, what is that solution addressing at the time? So if you are bringing in a solution, for example, like mobile money solutions in this ecosystem, where it is solving the problem of, at the start, the mobile money was used for just like a money transfer, so cash in, cash out, you deposit and then they withdraw. But then there were other players in the market that were offering the same kind of solutions, even if not by mobile money, but you could also send money by other means. So it was not solving particularly a problem, even though it made it a little bit easier. In other countries, those kinds of players did not really exist, so mobile money came to solve a very key problem, and so the adoption rate of it was a little bit much faster. Now in the CEMAC region particularly, we have the problem of the cash-based economy, and we have also the problem, I would call it a problem, but also the fact that there is no real policy around pushing businesses which are in the digital payment space. So there has to be a real, active urge from the state and also from the government to be able to put policies in place to push these kinds of digital payments, to ensure that people can shift from cash to digital means of payments. So I think that that's one of the things. Education also plays a role, of course, but if you see what the evolution has been, especially since the advent of COVID, I believe that it has been a breaking point, and we have seen a growth year on year in terms of usage of digital payments, of mobile money, even in the fintechs that are coming into this space. And I believe that the future in this space is quite bright.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. So you mentioned a point on cash in, cash out transaction. Today, in our market, specifically in Cameroon, for example, people are still more stick on cash in, cash out. That are very basic, and the P2P, that is money transfer and all those things. So they are focused on these basic services, while there are so much to explore, so much to enjoy with more advanced services, like for sure those payments that you are promoting with Maviance. How can we do to ensure that we are shifting mind? Because finally, when you enter in these advanced services, I'm talking here about end users, they are more comfortable with ensuring that the whole financial life is done via fintech solutions, be it payment, be it, I will not mention those basic services, but on those advanced, be it payment, be it remittance, I think that there is much more opportunities and much more convenience for them. But how can we do to ensure that people are seeing the importance, the impact of these advanced services in their life?
Okay, I believe when it comes to really getting, first of all, because your question is really about how can we get the users to actually be able to use the services at the end of the day. So you're going maybe from the approach of educating the end customer and ensuring that they understand the value that they're using. Now, fintech plays a big role in this, but I also believe that the strategy and approach has to go from a top-down approach. And I'll give you an example. People are using these rudimentary services, cash in, cash out today. And why are they cashing out? They are cashing out because where they are going to pay the money, the person who is getting the money is probably not accepting mobile money. It's still accepting cash, right? So if I want to send money to my grandmother and she has to go to the market and the person in the market says, no, I don't want mobile money, I want only cash, then I'm forced to withdraw. If I want to pay my rent to my landlord and my landlord say, oh, I don't want mobile money, I want cash, then I'm forced to withdraw it. So how can we ensure that the funds, first of all, stay within the ecosystem? It's to be able to get that more merchants are able to accept mobile money payments. So if you go to, I was in Kenya in January this year, and there was a small blackout for M-Pesa for about 2 hours, and it almost brought down the country. Because I met a taxi driver who told me that he has not seen cash in 3 years. So if the system goes down, there is nothing that he can do, that everybody is confused because they don't know what they can do. We can get to that level of digitalization, but we have to go from the top-down approach. And this follows, for example, the fact that if we have big corporate companies who are now embracing mobile money. I will give the case of SABC today. SABC is working with Maviance, working with MTN and other partners to be able to digitalize their payment process at a very high level. So all the distributors of SABC today are paying with digital solutions, including MTN Mobile Money. And if those distributors are paying with those money, it means when they go at the level of the bar, they will tell the bar that, oh, you can pay me with mobile money because I'm going to pay SABC with mobile money, right? And at the level of the bar will tell the people coming to pay that, oh, pay me with mobile money because when my distributor comes, he is asking for mobile money. So at the end of the day, you realize that if the top people are accepting digital means of payments, then it now trickles down very easily to the end customer because the end customer understands that they can pay. This goes the same also for companies who are using bulk payment solutions to make payments or salaries to their customers. Before, they were paying in cash, but a lot of companies are now adopting bulk payment solutions to make sure that they pay their customers. And so when the customers now, they are their employees, and when the employees have the funds in their mobile money accounts, they are more likely to use it to make other payments. And this is where the fintech players come in. Because the fintech players who are building their businesses mostly on the mobile money providers, they ensure that they can bring in innovative solutions that make the life easy for the people, for the end users. So the more the solutions are intuitive, they're innovative, they provide the reporting, they provide everything that these companies want, the more they're willing to adopt it and use these mobile money solutions. And this is why it's so important that there is really some big collaboration between the mobile money providers and the fintech players, because we are building our businesses as fintechs mostly on the mobile money providers. And if the collaboration is strong and good and we understand the value that we bring into each other, we can be able to actually digitalize the whole of this ecosystem and ensure that we can catch up to the East African players.
Yes, definitely. Thank you. So, when you were talking, and I was just thinking and telling myself that today, with the figures that we see, payment is growing faster than all those maybe basic, I may say basic services and all other advanced services. What is Maviance's strategy? Or I will not say strategy because I will not ask you to tell us your strategy, but what are your key priorities from this year? I may say that on a mid-term. What are your key priorities? What are your goals to ensure that you continue to serve better and better the market?
So for Maviance is in what we call a transformation phase. this time. So we grew organically for a long time. We raised funds that we were able to inject into our business and be able to grow the business and scale. Now we are in this phase where we call the transformation phase. So Jerry and I were part of the Stanford Seed program in this year, which is a program that is run by the University of Stanford in the US. And this is a business transformation program that enables companies that are in this phase of the business to be able to scale their business. Now, what does this mean for us? This means that we have to think about a lot of things around our culture, to think a lot of things about our processes, about how about our scalability, and just to be able to test even how solid we are as a business in order to be able to achieve the goals of the next years. And part of what we think is very important is to strengthen our partnerships, to strengthen our strategic partnerships with our partners. This goes for MTN, this goes with the banks, this goes with other players within the ecosystem. And I think for the next years, the way our business is structured, we do need a strong alliance, a strong partnership with the ecosystem players for us to be able to achieve the next phase of our business. And 2025 is a year in which we are saying that we have to take some time to transform the business. And part of this is about how we build strong partnerships, how we build a strong brand, that we improve our brand equity. And this is really the strategy globally for what we want to do in 2025.
And I think that this is something very, very big. So I think that we explored all the field. I'm very, very happy for having you in this program. So I mean, maybe just because in this program we are dreaming, we are sharing positive experience. I just want you to share one experience of one of your customers that changed life, so that people that are following us will learn from this experience, will be inspired from this experience, from your own customers, how he is using fintech payment particularly, and how does this drive change in his own life.
Yes, so I mean it's a difficult one, but I would try to pick one of those experiences. So as I told you, we have about 12,000 agents in the field today. These agents are primarily there to serve the end customer, right? So some of those end customers who are still paying in cash, but even some of them that are paying in mobile money, they still want to go to the level of an agent where they can meet somebody that they can trust. It's a cultural thing. People want to be able to meet somebody, you can pay, you can get a receipt, and so on. And so we have been able to realize that a lot of our agents, some of them don't make a lot of money per month. Some of them just use our solutions as a call-in product. So you may have let's say a shop where you are selling shoes, right? And then you take a solution that you are doing bill payment, you are doing mobile money cash in, cash out, and people come there to do mobile money cash out, and then they can discover other things that they can sell and so on and so forth. But we do have some people who are making some significant revenue from our solutions. And this makes us very proud, because what we believe is that we have created at least 12,000 indirect jobs within the country, which is a very good impact for us as a company, as what we want to do. But this also goes beyond, because those 12,000 agents have been digitally empowered, which means that other solutions that we are bringing into the market, or even every other fintech is bringing into the market, the acceptance of those solutions are much higher, because we have agents that can be able to declare that they have been earning revenue using digital payment solutions. And so this facilitates it not only for Maviance, but also for other fintechs, and even for the telcos who are rolling out other solutions in the market. So this for me is one real good story that I will share. I know there is an agent somewhere who is paying the hospital bill of the child, or is paying the school fees because of what we have been able to bring to Cameroon, and this makes us also very proud.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Dr. Nkwenti. And this was Lolo Business Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and to click on the bell button to receive notification of any new video. Thank you.
Thank you, Estelle. Thank you for having me.